Apple had their event called Apple Unleashed, and in this presentation, in this keynote, oh my God, did they show something that was good. I'm going to give you all the information of what was given in this keynote, and aside from that, as always, at the end, I'm going to give you my opinion. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start off with the most insignificant part of them all, and that was the update to the HomePod. It's not, I do update in quotations because it's not actually an update. All they did was add new colors, blue, yellow, and orange to go along with the white and the space gray that they used to have. Price stays the same. No updates whatsoever to the inside of the HomePod speakers or anything like that. Nothing else has been updated. Just to add those 3 new colors so they can match. If you bought yourself an M1 iMac, you can get yourself, well, if you pick blue, yellow, or orange, at least you can get a matching HomePod Mini for your iMac. See what they did? That's smart. The next thing that Apple announced was their update, their long-awaited update to the AirPods. The AirPods, design-wise, had not been updated since their first generation or since they originally came out. And just for reference, they were announced when they announced the iPhone 7. How do I know that? I had the iPhone 7 Plus. So the next thing that I bought after the iPhone 7 Plus, as soon as Apple had it available, was the AirPods. Anyways, going back, they finally updated the AirPods to the next generation. Obviously, as it was expected, they look like AirPods Pro. The only difference is that it doesn't have the rubber or silicone tips, depending on how you're gonna, however you want to call it. And it will not have noise canceling. It will have basically every other feature except noise canceling and those rubber or silicone tips. Aside from that, they do have something that's actually new. The case is MagSafe that you can attach to your MagSafe charger if you have it. And also on the website now, if you go into the website and go to buy the AirPods Pro, the AirPods Pro case has also been updated to also be MagSafe compatible. So that's pretty nice. The starting price for those of you interested is $179. The pre-order started on the same day as the presentation, and they will start shipping, or they should be arriving, something like that, by October the 26th. And now we get to the stars of the show. Obviously, I'm talking about the MacBook Pros. This was expected for a long time. They finally gave an update to the MacBook Pro. That update that came last year for the 13-inch with the M1, everybody was scratching their heads, and this is the reason why, because it wasn't actually an update as much as just give it Apple Silicon so they will have cheap a cheap MacBook Pro for 13 inches, because now that's the only 13-inch MacBook Pro. The new models are 14-inch and 16-inch. The 14-inch and the 16-inch have a notch. For those of you who don't like the notch, they give you a notch now. Although, if you actually use dark mode, you're not going to be able to see the notch anyways. In that notch will be finally a 1080p cam. It would have been nice to have 4K, but then again, going up from 720p to 1080p, I'm sure that's a big step for Apple. So thank you, Apple, for that. Anyways, the other updates that came is that it'll have better processing of image, obviously because of the processor, which is like the processor on the iPhone. Aside from that, the screen will be mini LED, and it will also have ProMotion. That was very nice from Apple. So now with the ProMotion, it'll be able to go down to 10 Hertz if you're not doing anything that's moving, And if you scroll, it'll be just like on the iPhone Pro 13 Pros and the iPad Pros with that promotion display that goes up to 120 hertz. So that's actually a welcome surprise. The other thing that we need to talk about is the processors. Because everybody was expecting the M1X and the M1X never came. But it didn't come because there was something better than the M1X. What they announced was the M1 Pro and M1 Max. And I know the names are a little weird. It'll take some getting used to. But anyways, they are powerful chips. They compared them to the Intel Core i9 processor. I'm pretty sure that it's the one that they have on their 16-inch, the highest tiered one that they had on their previous 16-inch laptop. And they also compared it to the graphics card that I currently have, and it completely destroys both of them. For those of you interested, the M1 Pro will come with 16 gigabytes of unified RAM memory, or unified memory, which is the same thing as saying RAM. The only difference is that unified memory, both the processor and the graphics are able to use that RAM simultaneously. They don't have to have different ones like most computers do when they have their own dedicated graphics. The M1 Max, I almost said M1 Pro Max. The M1 Max will have up to 64 gigabytes of unified memory. For those of you interested, the 14-inch will start at $1,999, and the 16-inch will start at $2,499. That's both with the configuration for the M1 Pro. For those of you interested, there are many, especially on the 14-inch, selections for you to choose from. You can have the M1 Max on the 14-inch also, which will make it kind of interesting. The 16-inch has a 140-watt charger. Wow! We're getting into gaming territory with a charging brick, but at least it's MagSafe, which is one of the things that they brought back. And they actually said they brought back. They said it that way.
And yes, MagSafe is coming back to the MacBook Pro. MagSafe 3 has a new design.
The one thing that they announced in a kind of a weird way, they announced like this.
Decided to share that we're adding ports to the new MacBook Pro.
So what they announced this way was the return of the HDMI and the SD card slot. Now, this used to be available on previous Macs. For some reason, they took it out, and now they're saying that, oh, we're giving you these ports. They used to have them. You know, you guys took them away. Now you're patting yourselves on the back or on the shoulder because you brought the features that... Anyways, they brought them back. Aside from that, it'll have 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, 1 on the right side and 2 on the left side. Also, it will have a headphone jack. Thank God they didn't remove that, considering how much Apple loves removing headphone jacks. And that headphone jack is actually a better headphone jack than previously because it will be able to play better definition regarding music, at least. As always, very impressive keynote. What is my opinion regarding the presentation? Very impressive, as always, by Apple to give their keynotes, the transitions and everything. I don't get tired of saying it. They really have a very nice production team. Obviously, the computers, they got me checking how much I would get in trade-in for my 16-inch. By the way, don't do it. They're trying to take money from you. They charged the 16-inch that I have was $3,800 or $3,900, and they want to give me $1,400 for a computer that is barely 1 year old. So no, I will be keeping mine. Thank you very much until the day she dies. Hopefully it will not be anytime soon because I really don't think I can afford this expense in back-to-back years. Anyways, the part that impressed me the most was the power that will be contained in this computer, and it only symbolizes what will happen when this Mac Pro comes out, because the MacBook Pro is very impressive. So the Mac Pro has to be on another level further from the MacBook Pro. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, this is just getting started. The next video that I'm going to record, actually right after I finish this one up, will be for the Pixel, which was introduced the next day after this Apple presentation. If you like this video, please hit the like button right below me. Also, while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. Help us grow and beat this YouTube algorithm, which is so tough and cranky, that, you know, help us reach our voice, get our voice out there and help us grow. Remember, we're available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and obviously YouTube at JR Abrams Tech, so you can stay up to date with the latest news or rumors about tech. Until next time.